it's Melissa with Melissa's Creations here, and I just wanted to update one of my favorite cards to a kind of Christmassy type theme. This is my Jar of Love card that I did in the new 2016-2018 in colors. I really love how this card turned out, so I decided to update it to more of a Christmassy feel since we're all getting in the mood to make Christmas cards and have all of our holiday cards ready for this coming Christmas season. I updated it to Dapper Denim and the Silver Glimmer Paper with some Shimmery White Cardstock, and I think it's fantastic. Of course, I have some rhinestones on there because you know me and my bling. I love it. I hope you guys do too. So let's go ahead and head to the craft table and put one together.
Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. This is Melissa with Melissa's Creations, and I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous bling bling card. You could use this for so many occasions, not just for the Christmas season or other holidays such as the New Year because of all of that sparkle, but you could use it year round, and I'm going to show you how to put this together. For the sentiment today, we're using the Hostess Only stamp set, Gift of Love. The sentiment I'm using is, you have a gift for making others feel loved. And I am using the Jar of Love stamp set along with the coordinating framelits dies, Everyday Jars framelits. And we are going to be stamping and cutting on the Big Shot. The inks I am using are the Dapper Denim in the classic stamp pad, as well as our Whisper White craft stamp pad. Now this is a pigment ink and it's very tacky until it's dry. So make sure that you allow plenty of time for that white ink to dry before you start working on your project. Of course, we have our little sponge dauber. These things are amazing. We're using the 1 3/4 inch circle punch for our sentiment on Whisper White. And we are using the 2-inch circle punch for the Silver Glimmer Paper. For paper materials today, I have a piece of standard 8.5 by 11 that I have cut in half at 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4 for my card base, Dapper Denim. I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than 4 1/4 by 5.5. This is going to be the insert to go inside of our card. I have a piece of Silver Glimmer Paper here that measures 5 1/4 by 4. And I have a piece of Shimmery White cardstock here that measures 3 3/4 by 5. And here I have all of my pieces already cut and punched. So using the Jar of Love stamp set, you're going to take this flower and stamp it with Dapper Denim onto your Shimmery White cardstock. Then you're going to take this accent 2-step stamp piece and use your Whisper White craft ink to stamp on top of that flower. And you're going to take these tiny, tiny little buds and stamp those in Whisper White craft ink so that you can get the accents on your little flower. These small flowers over here were stamped with this attached stamp here, and then in Dapper Denim, and then in Whisper White you go over it with these 2 detailed stamps here, and that will create these small flowers. Once you have those pieces stamped on your Shimmery White cardstock, you will need to use your Everyday Jars framelits dies and cut your shapes out. So I am using a few different dies here. This stem is going to be cut out of the Silver Glimmer Paper 3 times and out of Dapper Denim twice. You will need to stamp and cut 3 of these larger flowers, 2 of these combined smaller flowers, and finally you're going to want to cut 3 of these out of your Silver Glimmer Paper and 3 out of your Shimmery White cardstock. So a tip to save some paper. As you can see, I have a mat of the Silver Glimmer Paper behind my Shimmery White cardstock. Now, so that you don't waste any, what I recommend is cutting out of the middle of this Silver Glimmer Paper piece. And by that, I mean cutting your pieces out of the middle of your piece of cardstock. Now, I did not cut my 2-inch circle out of this, but there is enough room. You could probably squish things around and get your 2-inch circle out of this piece as well. All right, to start assembling, we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to fold our card base in half and give that a nice crease. We're going to get our Silver Glimmer paper down first. So with some fast fuse on the back side of that Silver Glimmer, I'm just going to run a few strips along the edges. And then I'm going to tuck a few pieces in between those cutouts just to make sure that it sticks nice. We can go ahead and put that Whisper White piece on the inside. This is not the shimmery piece. This is the plain Whisper White. Now I have my shimmery white piece here, and we're going to do some stamping. So the first thing we're going to do is bring in the large jar from the Jar of Love stamp set, along with the Dapper Denim ink. And ink that up. We want to stamp it off to the lower left. There we go. Beautiful. Next, I want to take this fun flourish stem, and I'm going to ink that up in Dapper Denim. But I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it full ink. So we're going to stamp it off on our scrap paper, and then we're going to angle it out of the jar, but so that it still goes in. I did not ink up the stem all the way because I don't want the entire stem going all the way down into the jar. We're going to stamp that 3 times. This one we're going to angle out to the side here. Now you can angle it however you'd like. Just make sure that your stem stays inside the rim of the jar. There. I have some scrap Shimmery White Cardstock here, and with my sentiment from Gift of Love, I'm going to ink that up in Dapper Denim and stamp that down. We'll punch that out in a moment, but while I have my ink out, I'm going to take those 3 tiny flowers I cut out of the Shimmery White Cardstock, and I'm going to daub the edges of those flowers with the Dapper Denim. With my 1 3/4 inch circle punch, I'm going to punch out my sentiment. I am going to mount that onto my Silver Glimmer with some dimensionals. Now I'm going to take those Dapper Denim stems with some clear Wink of Stella, of course, and I'm going to let those babies shine. I'm going to take some of my multi-purpose liquid glue, and on top of the glimmer paper where my stems are cut out, I'm just going to dot this around on the stem because I want to join this with it and just slightly offset it. I'm going to bring in my mini glue dots, and I'm going to get all of my small pieces ready. I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of my 3 larger flowers. And I have a length of about 6 inches of the Dapper Denim ruched ribbon. I'm going to tie my bow. And to get this flat knot on the top, I'm going to make a loop on one side. I'm going to make a loop on the other side. So I have 2 loops, one on the right and one on the left. And then you're just going to tie it into a knot. The longer your ribbon is, the easier this part will be for you. Then you can just fiddle around with the tails until it looks how you want. And also what I'm going to do is put some glue dots on here. I'm going to put 1 on each ribbon tail, and I'm going to put 2 on the back of the bow. All right, I'm going to carefully set that aside. Now that all of my pieces are sticky and ready to go, I'm going to mount this first to my card. So to do that, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And yes, of course, you know I like my dimensionals. So one in each corner, and then a couple scattered in the middle. All right, so we will stick that down, and look how beautifully that covers your cutout pieces. Perfect. Okay, it's time to start assembling. So I'm going to start by taking my little stemmy guys, and I'm going to use some more of that liquid glue, and I'm going to get that on the back of the blue stem, on the glimmer stem, and a little bit up here on the top. And this one I'm going to angle out this way. Again, trying to make sure that my stems don't go outside of that jar rim. And then just hold it down, give it a minute. And if you get glue on your little pieces here, don't worry, the flowers are going to cover it up. We'll get our second stem guy out here. And he's going to go out this way. And our last guy, he's going to go right there in the middle. All right, now we're going to bring our bow in and put him right there. And then we put glue dots on the tails so that we can kind of angle them in and kind of hide those little bits of stems. They don't have to be all hidden, but you know. Now we're going to bring in our larger flowers and place those on our bouquet. And now with our paper piercer, we can come in and pick up all of our extra little bits and flowers. I'm going to take those little flower guys, and I'm going to there's a glue dot on the back, so be careful you don't get it stuck to anything, but I'm going to kind of use the back of my paper piercer to indent that a little bit to give it some dimension and shape. And then I'm going to find places to put those next to the glimmer paper flowers. Let's go ahead and attach our sentiment. So I'm going to use my fast fuse on the back of my circles. I'm going to attach that right down here in the lower right. Using some scissors and these strips here, I'm going to cut off sections of about 5. So I'm going to take this first 5 and put it here at the top of the words. And then this is a section of about 6. That's okay. I'm going to put that down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to take the smallest of the rhinestones and put those in the centers of my shimmer white flowers with the blue outlined edge. And there we go, a gorgeous shimmery blue and silver card that you could really give for any occasion, but I think especially it would look gorgeous this holiday season. And it's an excellent way to use a stamp set that you may already have to do your Christmas cards this year.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed making this card with me. I would love to see your projects. Head over to melissascreations.com and click on the Contact Me Now link. You'll be able to see different ways to contact me, so you can send me your photos of your cards that you've made using one of my video tutorials. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified when I post new videos and have new content to share with you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good day. I